Yeah, y'all, one LVZ. Back with another video. Like, share, subscribe, peep gang. Now, Amanda Chase is a white supremacist senator, Republican senator from Virginia, who said that because Ralph Northam, racist ass, wants to remove the Confederate statues, and she said that they're trying to erase white history by erasing the Confederate statue. So basically, she's saying that the only history white people have is of being enslavers, rapers, and people who oppress black people. That's white history in a nutshell. Okay. She white. She would know it better than I would. From my perspective, that's been mostly white history. But anyway. So I took to Facebook because I can't go on Twitter, and I left a message calling her out on her white supremacy. And of course, I knew some white supremacists was going to respond, and I served them lunch. But this one stupid white supremacist came with the mother of all conspiracy theories and talking points. And I mean, I couldn't control myself with laughter serving this motherfucker. But I'm glad he did it because it gave me a chance to rebut him in real time without ever having to actually look it up. But then when I looked it up, it's more egregious the lie they told. So let's talk about Anthony Johnson. White people will tell you this is the first man to own a slave, as you see, he said. Only problem is 1619, when the slave ships came over, it wasn't black people driving them, it was white people. So then when you go look up Anthony Johnson, it's true, he owned slaves. But then when you find out that he was a slave from Angola that was captured in Angola in 1620, the first sentence of Wikipedia lets you know he couldn't have been the first slave master, considering he was brought here as a slave. So then I started checking into who Anthony Johnson was. He was an African from Angola who was brought over here and worked in indentured servitude. Didn't get his freedom until I believe 1635. By that time, he was granted land because he had helped them capture 5 slaves. So they gave him 250 acres, 50 acres per slave. He had 5 slaves. One of them, they don't tell you, was his son. He purchased his son to get him out of servitude. Now, what they also don't tell you is, then they're going to try to technically say, well, he's the first person to have a slave for a lifetime. This is not true. First black slave that was held for a lifetime tried to run away with 2 white slaves, and he got life, and the other ones didn't. That's John Punch, the first African slave to be lifetime slavery. So that ain't true. Then you find out he had to move. He got swindled out of some money in like 1657 by a white man because racism started getting so prevalent. Then he moved to Somerset County, Maryland, where he had land. But that land ended up stolen and swindled and pencil whipped out from him too. So when they tell you this monkey shit about, oh no, blacks helped start slavery, ask them, oh, by 1730, if you look at Wikipedia, the man's whole family had been erased. He didn't have any heirs, and his land was given to a colonist, a white colonist. So when people come with these bullshit ass talking points, I want you to have the knowledge to quickly and easily rebut these idiots. Because for real, what they do is they like to throw a lot of shit in the game. He was the first person to own a slave. No, he wasn't. And then when you ask, well, okay, he owned slaves. Well, the white slave masters, they passed their land and money and riches now to white people who still live today. What happened to his? Yeah, it disappeared in 1730. He became a regular nigga like the rest of us. So, Anthony Johnson is a sordid tale of what happens to you when you try to sit there and work with the system. He was one of those guys that the system, he worked with the system. He tried to go along to get along. That's why he won a court case against a black man to make him a slave for life. Go look it up. No, he was not the first slave master. He wasn't even the first black slave master. But what he was the first documented African. So fuck Anthony Johnson. Fuck Guy Davis. Fuck Amanda Chase. And if you down with any of them, fuck you too. LV.